Tony. Give him something to edit out.
Yeah, you just did. Hello and welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast. This is episode 143. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else a gun enthusiast may be looking for. We strive to evaluate products from an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Ryan Cross, from the Firearms Radio Network, your source of broadcasts for shooters, hunters, and gun enthusiasts. And we have a very lively group tonight. We actually have a celebrity in our midst. So first I'll get through that. You got Tony and Chad, and unfortunately TJ and Rob couldn't make it. They said that they were kind of exhausted from attending the Democratic convention. They said it was great though. They served little quiches. It was wonderful. But we've also got someone we mentioned quite a lot actually on the show, and I'm not sure why. Sean Fisher, how's it going, guy?
Well, it's me. Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody left the door open and I snuck in.
Awesome. Well, I think your name gets mentioned on this podcast possibly more than mine, maybe even more than the word Magpul.
I know that.
Maybe not.
Yeah, that's hyperbole. That's a lot of hyperbole on Ryan's part.
Mm-hmm.
So, Sean,
don't get upset and deflagrate.
Sean's the owner and proprietor of Black Bag Resources, and he also does something with Tony that has to do with firearms and diversity. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Been a sponsor of the Second is for Everyone diversity shoot since before Tony knew he was going to do it.
Wow.
Yeah, he's the driving force behind me starting the Second is for Everyone diversity shoot.
Well, it's good to have you on, and like I usually do, I'll start off by asking what everyone did in guns this week, and I'll start off with you, Sean.
It's been kind of a crazy week. I've done some gun stuff. We had Justifiable Force down at Fort Dix at Range 14 on Saturday. They did their Home Defender Handgun Tactics course, which was phenomenal. It was 4.5 hours, originally scheduled for 4 hours, ran a little bit long, but really in-depth legal information as well as handgun tactics to be applied in a home defense situation. So they ran through various scenarios and conducted force-on-force training with the SIRT laser trainers. It was pretty intense. I've also had a real busy week with some of the good law enforcement folks down in Baltimore because I'm also an armor dealer. So I'll be headed down to Baltimore shortly to set them up with some active shooter rigs and get those guys, those men and women, a little bit better protected for some bad situations.
Awesome. Well, I assume, Tony, did you do something in guns this week?
Yeah.
You touch a gun? Did you buy a gun?
I touched a gun, bought a gun. I was lucky enough to be part of the Home Defender handgun series with training with Justifiable Force training. They were great guys. We had a lot of fun force-on-force role-playing, and I also got myself a nice brandy new CERT pistol. So
nice.
Next level training. These were really effective. They were awesome. I'm going to blow my camera out. I had a lot of fun with these. Then Sunday I had a NRA First Step shotgun class. I had to roll solo because my partner in crime, Sean from Black Bag Resources, had other things to do. So I taught First Step shotgun to a bunch of eager students, and it was a great time to be had by all. Broke out to 20 and a 12 gauge, and had female shooters blasting out clays for the first time. They couldn't believe how much fun they were having. So that was my week in guns.
So Tony's been an instructor for a couple of years at this point. I'm going to step on his toes a little bit, but this is the first time he taught the class all by himself and knocked it out of the park and did a great job. So yay, Tony. Good job, bud.
Yay, me.
Yay.
How many students did you blind with that CERT pistol?
Probably.
I didn't even take
every
the
student
pistol
and at
class
least 3 of the instructors.
Oh, Oh, by the way, yeah, I shot 2 instructors directly in the face with it. Let's not get it twisted. We were shoot, no shoot scenarios, and son, when I'm shooting for keeps.
Nice.
I'm not getting wounded.
Can we talk about the culminating exercise at the end?
Oh yeah, where we what we did was we ran through different stations. They taught us skills at each station, and then at the end we had a run through that combined everything. So it was pretty much force-on-force scenario training. So you bring in a fat guy like myself and you say, hey, pretend you're at home and stockpile your gun or store your gun wherever you keep it. Well, if I'm at home and we're doing a self-defense training class, well, I'm keeping my firearm on me. So the minute the glass broke and bad guys started coming in, I left the area, moved, barricaded myself, called 911, and when the bad guy kicked my door in and he had a knife in my hand, well, cuz got shot in the face like 4 times. It was awesome.
Well, you never know if he's wearing body armor or not.
Well, my thing is, it's close enough for me to get a headshot. Why not take a headshot? And hey, look, cuz I'm too old to go hand to hand. I'm shooting you in the face. So that was my scenario. Then they used me to videotape everyone else coming in the room and doing their thing. So number 2 guy in the room was Sean Fisher to run his scenario. So you can take it over from there.
It was pretty funny. You know, it's a big room and there's a little kitchenette in the back, and that was what they had dictated was your safe room to simulate moving from the living room where they had set up the couch at the far end of the main room, and you had to run across your quote-unquote house to get to your safe room where your gun is stored. And I'll expose a little bit of my personal protection plan at my home. I got guns all over the place. They're secure, but I'm never more than arm's reach from a firearm, and I explained that to the instructor. I was like, yeah, I don't have to run across the house to get to one of my guns. I've got something. If I'm sitting on the couch, there's a gun within arm's reach. And he was like, oh, well, okay. So they thought they'd be clever and throw me a curveball, and they had the bad guy coming in from one side of the room. So when glass broke and it was my turn to go, I grabbed my gun and I turned towards the safe room, and here's the bad guy coming straight at me. I made it clear to him at that point through verbal commands that he did not stand a chance and was to turn around, drop the knife, and exit my house expeditiously, although I probably used some more colorful language. And at this point, because he'd come in from the other side of the room, that's where all the other students were staged, so they got to see what I was doing. And everybody kind of got a chuckle out of it when he got to the door, and I made it clear that he was to close the door behind him on the way out.
That was great.
So he closed the door, I locked it behind him, I called 911, and I didn't have to shoot him, but made it clear to him that his option was to get body piercings or get out of my house.
Nice.
Good exercise. We saw one other student who caught the whammy, which is a training situation where there is no winning solution for you. No matter how many good choices you make, you're going to lose. And he was kind of shaken by that, but took the lesson to heart and recovered well and continued with the exercise. So it was pretty good.
I'll throw something out there for anybody that trains. You only get out of it what you put into it. If you go into it that you're Superman and anything they say to you you're not going to pick up on, then you're not going to pick up on anything, and you wasted your time and theirs. There was lessons for everyone there if you chose to use them. I learned some stuff about myself, but I also learned that...
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Firearms
Somebody hit play on the YouTube. But yeah, I learned that I was worried that I would hesitate when it came time to pulling the trigger, that I'd try to talk too much, you know what I mean? And no, that wasn't a problem. You come through the door with a knife, you're within 21 feet or hell, even more, yeah, you're getting shot. I watched too many people close in too quickly with a knife and take out targets doing that training that it amazed me. Like, people, stop, please stop. No. Now you're being stabbed. You know what I mean? Now you're being stabbed. Everything is compromised. You didn't win. You might survive. You know what I mean?
There's a time to talk and there's a time to shoot. And when it's time to shoot, don't talk. Shoot.
And shoot a lot.
That's it.
This isn't a TV show. You're not going to wing the bad guy and he's going to rethink his life and run out the door. Go time is go time. You're fighting to win, not to survive.
So aim for the face. So chat.
Like the Dalai Lama said, tooth to the chest, the face gets the rest.
That's it.
So Chad, what did you do anything guns this week?
Well, let's see. Compared to those two, I'm going with. Let's see. I went to my local gun store and he gave me some patches that aren't Patriot Patch Co.
Traitor.
So, I know.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Get those
pretty
off
cool.
the camera. We don't want to see those.
There you go. There you go. You can see these cool U.S. tactical supply patches there. See, now I did my work for him. So.
Not Magpul.
We went camping.
US,
so.
Oh man.
Not
even a
Patriot
BBR
Patch Co.
patch.
Not Patriot Patch Co. Divert your eyes from that blasphemy. You don't want to even look at that.
Terrible.
That's right.
It's not even PVC. That's garbage.
It is PVC, but it's better than those patches Tony has.
What?
Anyway,
not the Patriot Patch Co.
Get to the answer to the question there, sir.
Basically, we went camping, so all I did was carry.
Cool.
I didn't see any bears to shoot or anything.
Yep.
And
well, I didn't do anything, so that makes that nice and short and sweet. I've just been working really hard. We got some new products. We're getting some stuff going with Patriot Patch Co. It's really exciting. So that's pretty much what I've been working on for the majority of my week. Behind me, I've got the AK reloading mat or cleaning mat. I finally got hot off the press a version of that. So those are pretty awesome. We've got some more coming on the way, including the M4 AR-15 mat. So that just segues us right into our announcements. The bandwidth sponsor for the podcast is Patriot Patch Co. Pre-orders right now, we've got the Summer Brew 3-pack pre-orders. So we've got Deerslayer, Hand Cannon, and Tack Driver. 3 patches that remind you of your favorite domestic beer that's cheap and good on a hot summer day. So you can get all 3 of those patches for only $29.87. So that is a pre-order. They are in development right now, so pre-order yours while you can, and they should be able to come to your mailbox here shortly before the summer's out. And we've also got we had a scratch and dent sale, but those sell out really quickly. So if you're not following Patriot Patch Co. on Instagram or Facebook, you're going to miss out on those scratch and dent sales. That's where we take some factory seconds that are still acceptable and we sell them at a very discounted price. So, last one we did 5 patches for $15. That's $3 a patch. Normally they're $12.87 a piece. So keep an eye out and follow us on social media if you want to take advantage of some of those sales that go on. We've also got patch frames if you're interested in displaying your collection of morale patches on your wall like a piece of artwork. Then we've got these frames in gold and blue and red and black and gray that you can buy and hang up in your house. Jake's sending me one as we speak, so behind me, instead of this large Velcro thing that's just hanging from hooks, I'll have a nice professional art classical frame behind me for the show. So that's pretty cool. We've also got Just an Opinion patches. If you're not aware, Just an Opinion is an awesome YouTube gear reviewer, gun reviewer. He's got a lot of SIGs. He's got a lot of 1911 experience. He's just an overall great YouTube channel to subscribe to and to watch. I did his logo recently after meeting him in Pennsylvania for the machine gun shoot, and so that logo is now a patch that you can buy and wear in support of him, and you can also get a sticker too. So if you go to patriotpatch.co/Justin, you'll be able to get those. If you go to his YouTube channel, Just an Opinion channel, he actually just did a video on our patches. So he put his little collection out there, and he showed the detail in some of those patches, like the 1911 patch. So it's kind of nice for him to do. We keep shouting out to each other back and forth. So we did a little video for Patriot Patch Co. So that was pretty cool. So subscribe to his channel if you haven't already, please. It's definitely worth it. And we've also got some Guntrepreneur and Lead Delivery patches. The bundle is still available, limited supply. So it looks like we are down to 3X, 4X, and 5X large, and those are very low stock. So if you're a 3 to 5X and you want to get a very limited edition lead delivery patch, it's a USPS mail truck with a Gatling gun on the top of it. You can't get that in our regular patch catalog. So if you're into getting morale patches that are rare and limited quantity, that would be it, as well as the Guntrepreneur t-shirt, which was a big hit here this last year. So that's it for the Patriot Patch. Comment on the Firearms Insider Reviews or the current Firearms Radio Network show notes for a chance to win Patriot Patch swag at the end of the month. I do 2 of those every month. I gotta be able to get your mailing address, so if you could email gungearreview@gmail.com after you've left a comment, that makes it easier for me to just ship your swag right out to you and not have to track you down and get your address. And lastly, for the announcements, the Black Bag Resources is having a 10% off $50 or more site-wide sale lasting until the end of August 31st, and the coupon code is hyperboil.
Yeah. See how hard that word is to pronunciate?
Hyperbole.
Hyperbole.
There's plenty of that coming out of a certain convention this week.
If you put hyperboil, I'm sure Sean will honor the coupon code regardless.
I would love to. It won't work. It's all computer controlled. So.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah,
okay, so
HYPERBOLE.
That's right. Gotta spell it right. It is in the show notes though. So if you're curious on how do you spell it, A, look it up in the dictionary. B, Google it. C, look in the show notes on the firearmsradio.tv website, and the proper spelling will be right there.
Or you can go to blackbagresources.com, and I will give you Tony Simon's personal cell phone number. You can check with him.
There you go.
Go ahead, and as part of that personal cell phone number, I'll give you Sean's address.
Dang. Next, he's going to give you his Tinder username.
Oh, God.
At some point in this show, we're going to drown Tony.
Oh, this is the second time you guys got a spit take out of me. This is not cool.
That was a good one. So the first product we're going to spotlight this week is from Gunfighters Inc. And I don't know if I mentioned it on the show, but I actually just uploaded a video to our YouTube channel of an interview I had with their general manager, Woody. So they are in Central Washington. They make some pretty awesome holsters. The owner of the company is inspired by just recreational carry when you're out riding your bike in the mountains. And a lot of mountain biking in Central Washington in the mountains near the Leavenworth area. As well as, up in Alaska, you're fishing, you got your waders on, how is a good way to carry, because if you're in Alaska, everyone kind of carries for bears. So Gunfighters Inc. makes some pretty awesome holsters that kind of are just above the competition as far as the design goes. So they got the Kenai chest holster, they've got the Spectre shoulder holster, both of those we mentioned on the show in the past, as well as the Ronin and the Wraith holsters. They actually just released a new holster, so that's what I wanted to talk about on the show this week. But I did want to make sure you guys head over to YouTube, check out the Firearms Radio page, Firearms Radio Network, and then you'll see my holster innovation video I did with Gunfighters Inc. So on to the new holster. It's the CAS Inside the Waistband holster. So it is a inside the waistband holster that allows you to also store an additional magazine in the same holster shell. And it puts that magazine at a forward canted angle, so it makes it easier to grab it. It's just in front of if you're carrying on the right side of your hip in the 3:30, 4 o'clock position, it is just forward of the slide, so if you reach and grab your gun, your magazine is actually going to be just forward of where your gun was. It does use a single belt clip, and it looks to be made of some very high quality Kydex with some really good hardware grommets to hold the two shells together. Actually saw their back assembly area where they actually assemble their holsters, and I was really impressed with just the little sweatshop I was looking at, and by no means it was little. They certainly have some quality materials, and some quality guys putting everything together by hand, making sure it's to their standard of quality. So have you guys been able to check out this holster? What do you guys think?
I not only checked out their holster, I went to their YouTube channel, and then I went back in time and started checking out his first videos and see where he started at and the kind of work he did, and watched it just evolve over the last 5 years into something that's pretty awesome with the details that they have. If you ever go to their site and you check out their inside the waistband holster for this particular one, you'll see inside the belt loop itself, it has like grip tape inside the belt loop. So when you put the belt through it, it grips actually the belt to stay in place, so it won't slide along your belt loops. I thought that was pretty good. Like one of those small attention to detail things that a lot of companies won't do, and you won't see other places. I also checked out the, not width, but how wide the belt loop itself was, and it's really tight compared to some companies that all of a sudden the thing will wobble around on your belt itself. This looks pretty tight. So I thought their attention to detail and just the small changes makes it, stand out above some other companies.
Yeah, I noticed the grip tape too, and I thought that was a spectacular idea because a lot of those single clip holsters, even with a decent clip, they still seem to move to some extent, a little bit, maybe rocks a little bit. It looks, I was checking it out, and it looks kind of like a pretty decent easy on-off holster that carries your mag. It looks like you can wear it pretty much appendix all the way around 3-4 o'clock pretty much, which is kind of nice. If you need to carry an extra mag, I mean, some people don't like, if you're not carrying an appendix, having to reach across to change mags, but it's better than not having an extra mag at all, or having one in your pocket and you can't even find it.
Yep. So CAS actually stands for Covert Appendix System. So it is designed to be carried in either the directly 12 o'clock position for appendix carry, or a little bit off to the side. When I mentioned the 4 o'clock position, they actually have a variation of this holster called the C5S, and that variant is for strong side carry. So you could carry it either way. It's actually really convenient because carrying that SIG P938, usually I always have at least 2 extra magazines, including the one inside the gun on me. And I've been looking for a solution to carry the magazine. And the only thing I could find in the stores, because I was just lazy, is the Uncle Mike's Tactical. It was the only thing that fit the 1911 style single stack 9mm magazines. But I was not going to buy an Uncle Mike's Tactical product. So it's interesting to see something out here that carries a mag in the holster. That way when you take it out at night and you set it by your bed, or you're changing pants, or you're putting it on your belt in the beginning of the day, you're going to head out there, your spare magazine is always with your gun at all times. And it's really nice to have that. That way you're not losing magazines, or I don't know, just misplacing them, or getting lazy and not bringing your extra reserve magazine.
Well, it's the convenience too that when you grab that holster, you've already got the spare mag on board. And like I said earlier, I stage firearms throughout the house for my home defense situation. But when I go out, I don't usually carry in the house because I have things staged all over. But before I leave is when I take the gun in the holster and put that on. And with the spare mag already being part of that package, it's there, it's ready to go. You drop it in, and you've got everything you need in one grab, and you've got the whole thing. You know what I mean? So convenience-wise, it encourages you to carry that backup or that second mag that a lot of us tend to neglect when we carry.
Yep. Yeah, I'd be willing to give this a shot and give appendix carry a try. Normally I don't like something pointing down to my femoral artery as far as the muzzle of my firearm, but and it's never really been comfortable to do so for me, whether sitting in a car driving or sitting in in this chair doing work during the day. So I'm interested to see how this would feel, and if it's a really comfortable alternative to carrying in the summertime with just a t-shirt and not worrying about printing on your sides or the small of your back, or bending over and printing.
Do that a lot, do you?
No, I do not bend over a lot. I see what you're trying to do there, and I rebuke that.
I rebuke you.
I rebuke that.
You.
Oh, I can't believe I just got the coupon code for September.
Awesome.
Well, he does have the Magpul tramp stamp.
Stop it.
I am
That's
wearing
true.
a Magpul shirt today just for you guys.
Shocking.
Yeah.
So the Gunfighters Inc. CAS/C5S inside the waistband holster MSRP is $70. Available straight from their website. They do have an Amazon store that might be on there here soon. So custom orders from them is about 2 to 4 weeks. They do have some quick ship items already made up on Amazon. You can also look for a local retailer. Nice thing about these guys is that they've started to branch out, and they've got actually a lot of dealers that carry their products. 3 in Alaska. There's 3 or 4 in Washington State, and there's also some kind of spread across the country. So make sure you check out their dealer page to see if there's someone close to you that can provide that.
$70 isn't a bad price for that kind of holster either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With all the, like you said earlier, the attention to detail, the grip tape, and the belt loop, you're talking about a custom, for all intents and purposes, a custom rig that any place else would cost you close to $100. So they're very reasonable on the price.
Yeah. And they do have colored kydex as well. You can have it. They get the kydex in sheets, and it's sublimated with some kind of design on there, whether it's camouflage or carbon fiber. And they also can do just kind of like a fabric that's glued on the kydex as well. So if you want a custom rig, I don't know why you'd want it inside the waistband holster to be pretty and colorful, but they do have that option as well.
Okay, well, when Magpul comes out with their camo pattern, we know which inside the waistband color code you're going to have.
Yeah, flat dark earth all day.
Word.
So the next product we're going to talk about is a 22 suppressor. I'm really liking adding suppressors to the show notes and talking to my listeners about suppressors more and more, especially as suppressor legislation is kind of being a factor in more and more states, and more people are being allowed to finally have access to this technology that's not even new. It just boggles the mind how it's so difficult to get these things. Not real difficult, just kind of not as easy as it should be. So this is the Hydra rimfire silencer suppressor from Chaos Gear Supply. So their website is cgsgroup.com. So the Hydra is a rimfire suppressor. It's got a 1-inch diameter and a length of 5.6 inches. It's made out of grade 9 titanium as far as the tube goes, and the baffles use 17 4pH stainless steel. There's also that's the stainless steel model. There's also an aluminum model, so that's made out of 60, 61 T6 aluminum, and the baffles are 70, 75 T6 aluminum. So I'm assuming there's going to be, looks like there's a price difference in there. The aluminum, I'm assuming, is the $299 version, and the stainless steel and titanium, I'm assuming, is the $499 suppressor. So it uses both 1/2 by 28 TPI direct thread mount. Both of them do. And it just looks like a pretty interesting suppressor to be able to disassemble it and get to cleaning it, because that's definitely something that you need to do with 22 suppressors, is get in there and do your maintenance, because 22 is a dirty round. What do you guys think about this?
I think I was looking it up, checking out different things about this, and I found out the difference between in cleaning is that you can drop that the stainless in like a sonic cleaner and get it clean quickly, but you can't do the same thing with a aluminum, the aluminum one. At least according to one video I was watching, they were talking about the difference in it and the difference in cleaning them. That's one of the things. And I don't know how much weight you save on a 22 suppressor between titanium and aluminum. But I'm figuring the only difference is weight savings there, or cleaning. I don't know if there'd be another difference that you paid twice the money for, or nearly twice the money.
Yeah, usually titanium in 22 suppressors is used to make it higher compatible with 17 HMR, 22 Winchester Magnum, in order to withstand the higher pressure rimfire cartridges. Whereas aluminum is just 22 long rifle, 22 short, and a little bit more cost effective as far as the price of the can goes. So I do have a link to Silencer Shop. They have the aluminum model for only $275, and I will attest that using Silencer Shop is awesome because they do all the paperwork for you. They handle all the ATF paperwork, and they choose. They have like a little where your location is. You put in your zip code, and it brings up all the dealers in your area that they can transfer the suppressor to, so that you can go pick it up from them and have it transferred to your name, whether it be in a trust or not. So I'd recommend getting it from them. As far as their website goes, they have a lot more information on the can on their website than the manufacturer did. So the weight is only 3.53 ounces, so that's pretty stinking light for how long it is, 5.6 inches. I am not seeing a decibel rating, but for a 22 can, I think we can all assume that it's just going to be extremely quiet.
I was watching one of the videos, the NFA channel, and they were using a bolt-action 22 rifle, and you could barely hear it without the can on it. The minute he put the can on it, it just looked like a guy was twitching while firing a rifle because it was just the recoil and the bolt going forward. There was just nothing coming out of this thing. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, pellet guns are louder.
Yeah, and then he put it on a Ruger 2245 pistol with the the Tactical Solution copied upper, and it was really quiet there. And then he also used one of those occult, the 22 Colt. I forgot what they call it. It looks like a 1911.
The Woodsman?
No,
Yeah, I was
the
gonna
one that
say,
looks
yeah.
like a 1911.
Oh.
It's not the GSG, but it's one by Colt that they had Humorex make. But it was
Yes.
really quiet.
Yeah, I think you can't go wrong with pretty much any 22 can. This one's pretty snazzy looking. You know, it's not too long, so Ryan won't have problems with it. It's the standard diameter. Pretty much all 22 cans are an inch diameter.
Yeah.
I guess the one thing I would be curious about is some cans come apart easier than others when they get crap and all kinds of stuff in them. There's no real good way to test any can unless you know somebody that has one but take apart is so needed with a 22 can. I mean, those things get so packed full of crap.
Yeah, the gaps between the baffles is where that leading and or that carbon starts to build up and kind of cause a semi-permanent weld of carbon that keeps those together tight. So hopefully the design of the baffles, they use what they call the Orion baffle design, inspired by the NASA space shuttle. I don't know if that's just marketing fluff or not, but to increase the durability and resiliency. So hopefully that leads to the design of the baffles is conducive to preventing that carbon welding from occurring.
Yeah, I do. Oh, I was going to say, having the baffles, if it doesn't really say if they're anodized or not, but that can help a lot too, because it just says the finish is type T3 hard coat, anodized. It didn't really see. It says they're anodized aluminum baffle stack, which that'll help with build up on them also.
Also, the way they fit. Now, again, I watch NFA review channel on YouTube. They were talking about the way they fit. They all fit within each other, of course, like Legos. But then when you tighten it down, it compresses itself and takes care of the gaps in between. So there are no real gaps in between. So when it gets dirty, it just comes apart. There are no gaps for carbon to settle in.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, we should put a link to the that channel in the show notes. That's a really good YouTube channel to watch.
Yes, it is. I look at it all the time and just drool and be upset that I live in New Jersey.
Or just move, man. Ain't that hard.
It's not that far
Yeah.
across the river.
It's more complicated than you guys realize.
I got a
Yeah.
futon. I got a futon you can crash on.
Man, that's a drive into work there, baby.
Well,
right.
you got to keep in mind, Tony crashes on your futon once.
I've been trying to get rid of it. That's what I'm saying.
And then the futon is crashed.
And when Tony crashes a futon, it stays crashed.
Yeah.
All right, so the next product we're going to talk about this week is the Ruger's got another new product. When I say new, it's kind of old, but it's a remake. It's a remix. So it's the Ruger #1 rifle, and these were single-shot rifles, so they're bringing them back. A very simple, strong, falling block breech mechanism, and calibers as 6.5 Creedmoor, 308 Winchester, 275 Rigby, 243 Winchester, and then 45 Mag, as well as 35 Wayland.
Hey, actually, they kind of calmed down with these. Ruger always has these on list. They just change the calibers almost every year. And usually they're in like elephant gun calibers, like 450, 400 nitro or something like that. So this is pretty cool.
500 Tyrannosaur.
Yeah, it's like, you know, F you and the charging water buffalo behind you kind of calibers. But now, 6.5 Creedmoor sounds pretty good. They calmed down a little bit. 308, awesome. I love falling blocks. I'm a gun guy. I like shooting everything no matter what. So I shot some stuff like this that was older. So shooting something like this that's newer, has the ability to mount Ruger rings on it, it's just pretty cool, because this is the kind of stuff that professional hunters, take to Africa and hunt with. That whole you get one shot mentality that's totally different than even people that rock bolt actions with, 3 to 5 rounds in it. These guys are just the hardcore hunters talking about putting it around where it needs to go. Plus, there's no moving parts. And you get a lot more barrel out of the same length firearm, because really all it is a falling block and the chamber. That's it. Not a lot of moving parts. Really well-made firearms. Great wood on it. Stuff like that just makes it a legacy firearm instantaneously. So it's like you buy it, you'll be passing that down to your kids and grandkids.
That's my big thing. That's not going to be something you take to the range once or twice and end up flipping unless you're kind of a bonehead. That's the sort of thing that, yeah, it's a little bit more than some of the cheaper single-shot break actions and stuff that I have, but it's immediately an heirloom piece that you know is going to be in the family for a long time, and the kids and grandkids are going to talk about shooting dad's or grandpa's rifle. It's a cool piece.
So it looks like it's available from Lipsy's as a distributor as one of their exclusives. So the price, MSRP on that, it's about $1,499, so $1,500.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a little bit of variation in both the sights and the material and finish, depending on what caliber you get. So the 6.5 Creedmoor, according to the website, does not have sights on it, so that must be so you can just mount your optic to it. But the 308 has a blade sight, the 275 Rigby has an express sight, and actually the 243 doesn't have a sight either. And the 44 Rem Mag and the 35 Wayland have blade sights. Everything has an alloyed steel / satin blued finish, except for the 308, which is stainless steel and satin stainless finish. Barrel lengths do vary between them all. 6.5 Creedmoor is 28 inches at the longest. The shortest one is the 308 and the 44 Rem Mag. Those are 20-inch barrels.
Well, see, these things, it's really too bad that they don't think about putting suppressors on these, especially like a 44 mag.
Yeah,
44 mag with a 20-inch barrel. Yeah.
But this, other than that, it's like everybody was saying, they're heirloom rifles. They're not something you're going to shoot every day. They're smooth. I don't know about. I've shot one of them. I don't remember what caliber it was, and this was 15 years ago or something. But they're smooth action, really nice. And if you're looking for something like this that you're going to pass down and not sell, or take to Africa, because a lot of times you only get one shot in Africa, from what I hear, before the rhino kills you. I don't know if they made the 6.5 Creedmoor before, or if that's actually a new offering. I think all the others that I know of that they have.
Yeah, I was going through looking at different ones. They had just checking out the different calibers, checking out reviews from the different calibers. Oh, and also one of the things, a lighter weight. Since there's no action, it's just that heavy-duty falling block. You have like 7-pound rifles in this stuff.
Yeah,
So,
depending on calibers, yeah.
Yeah. So there's just not something really heavy, and it's on. I don't think it's something a younger guy would buy. You know what I mean? Like as his first gun. But as you get into this, like almost anything else, you buy the newest, the greatest. You start spending the money, and then as you get older, you realize pretty much putting that first round where it needs to be is what it's mostly about in sports and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't make that clean kill shot, then you got to wait for that opportunity to come out, not just sling lead down there. Isn't that right, Chad?
I'm good at slinging lead down there. I mean, I guess I'm not as old as Tony thinks I am, because these single shot things, I just don't know about them.
Oh, stop BSing, dude. When you grew up, that thing was called an assault rifle. That's how old you are. That was new technology.
It's got nothing to do with age. It's got everything to do with class.
Yeah, well,
Of which I have neither.
Well, you're in the right company then.
There we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got the links for that in the show notes. So that's it for the product spotlight for this week. Now we're going to get into the reviews. And good old dependable Chad, he's got another review this week.
Yeah, where's yours this week?
I'm giving you the limelight, man. I just keep typing mine up, and oh nope, Chad's got one. I'm gonna hold on this one until next week.
Chad's all cantankerous.
I must say that I think this is one of the first times in a long time where I wrote the review, and I'm actually doing it on the following podcast like 5 days later, before the next podcast, or skipping like a month. So that's always a good thing. So today we have another Lucid optic, and it is the Lucid L7, and it is a 1:6 by 24. It is a quick adjust, true 1 power to 6 power optic. It comes optional with the throw lever, meaning it's in the box, but you have to take the supplied Allen wrench and screw it on if you want it. So that's always nice. This optic is a 30mm tube, the usual kind of stuff that you would expect for 1:6. 24mm objective lens. I think the ocular lens is like 34mm. The power adjust is really nice and smooth. And like I said, it comes with the throw lever, and so that's always a nice thing. It uses I guess it's one of their reticles. They call it the P7 reticle. It is on the second focal plane, but at 1x you can use it as a pseudo red dot, because the L7 has an illuminated blue inner reticle. There is a halfway decent picture in the article, but I will hold it up here and you can probably see the least lit up blue center section. Not that you can really see through it, but there's that. It is in a blue color, which I think Lucid calls calming blue. I found the blue to be actually a really nice choice, because unless you like point it at the sky, you can pretty much see it on whatever background. Like, I do know that I've shot a few matches where they like to use like red painted steel to throw off the people with red dots. So with this, plus it's an etched reticle, so if you can't see the illuminated part, you can still see the reticle. So that's always good. It is an MOA reticle, which is kind of Lucid's thing. I don't think they make anything that is not some sort of MOA reticle. So there's that. The reticle elevation hash marks, basically, that go down the scope, are spaced at 8 MOA apart. So what I found is if you're using something fast like 5.56, they don't really allow for the bullet drop. But if you're using something slow like a subsonic 300 blackout or something, they actually work quite a bit better. I have the Strelic Pro app for my phone, and so in the review I put a couple pictures of what, with, just those velocities, where they would fit on this scope reticle, so you can kind of get an idea that, the basically first mark is 430 yards for the 5.56, and the next one's like 573, but and these are 50-yard zeros. With the 300 black subsonic, the first mark, it's kind of a dot, is 115 yards. Next one's like 167. So, something with a heavier, slower bullet works better with this style reticle. If you're into a quick adjustment, you get about 180 degrees, a little over that, but with the throw lever. So there's that. Now we are on to my actual favorite thing about the Lucid scopes, is their adjustment knobs, which I've gone over it with the L5 I reviewed. They have little rubber pieces on them, which is nice, but they lock. You can't turn them. You have to pull them up, adjust them. They have fairly decent clicks, if you can hear those, and then you can just push it back down to lock it. They are zero. You can reset zero on them. You have to take the little screw loose at the top or side, depending on which one you're doing. Loosen it up, then just pull the little cover off, run it to zero, put it on, screw the screw back down, kind of your typical how to set zero on them. It has an 11 position adjustable rheostat for the illuminated reticle. On the L7, each click is a half MOA, which is pretty standard on your 1 to 6, 1 to 4, stuff like that. So it uses a CR2032 battery, which goes in the illuminated side knob. In bright daylight, even at 11, the blue is barely visible, so if it's lit, but of course you still have the etched reticle, so it's not a huge deal. I had it mounted on a 16-inch AR, which Lucid says primarily designed this scope for an AR, which is kind of a given. Actually, the first thing I noticed when I pulled it out of the box was how clear it is. I was really impressed with the clarity of this particular one. I've seen, other optics, 1 to 4, 1 to 6, in about the same price range that don't seem as clear. So that was a nice touch. It does come with flip covers. Here's one of them. I took the other end off. They're kind of cheap and flimsy, but they're there, so I guess that's a plus. I think Lucid did a pretty good job with this. The blue illumination's nice. I love their knobs, as you guys could probably tell. It's true 1X. If I had anything to change, I'd probably change the hash marks to 2 or 4 MOA apart, so that with the faster cartridges it would work better as like a 3-gun scope. So the Firearms Insider key points: the claimed fame, quick adjust 1 to 6 power optic with blue center illumination. The target market is pretty much 3-gunners, hunters, law enforcement, or pretty much anyone wanting quick, adjustable, low-power optic. Features and benefits: it's a true 1-to-6 power, 30mm tube. It is 10 3/4 inches long. It weighs 20.4 ounces, which is heavy, but when you compare them to the other 1-to-6s, it's not. They all kind of weigh about that. It's waterproof, fog-proof, shock-proof, up to 458 SOCOM, so I'm guessing that's what they tested it to. It's multi-coated optics. It's illuminated reticle, half MOA adjustments, kind of lockable turrets, 60 MOA adjustment range, and that is each side of center, so really you have 120 from side to side. It comes with flip caps, and it has a lifetime warranty. There are no other options available. Imagine that. What others are saying. Here's a little short review from Optics Planet. Outstanding optic. He gave it 5 of 5 stars, but I wanted a 1-to-6 optic that wouldn't break the bank, but also wouldn't be something that I knew was cheap. A friend suggested the L7, and even after reviewing the website, I still had some questions. A quick call to Lucid and a chat with the president of the company answered them. When the optic arrived, I was glad to see that it felt solid and rugged and wasn't something that would fall apart if it got a few dings and scratches. The glass is clear and the reticle is crisp. A word about the reticle. I like how the various steps on the ladder are a fixed distance so that not only does it operate as a BDC, it will function as an ersatz rangefinder. There's a link to other reviews. I found a review on Major Pandemic, so you can click the link in that to find it. The price point, MSRP is $449. You can find it on Amazon for $389 using our affiliate link, and you can also get it at Optics Planet, and I think they're actually the seller on Amazon, so I think the price there is the same. So for our rating, the pros is the blue illuminated reticle, the clear glass, has good light transmission, the turret locks, the reset to 0 turrets. They are tactile adjustment clicks. They're a target style tactile turret, I guess is what you would say. The lifetime warranty, and it does include the throw lever. The cons I gave it were the 8 MOA elevation marks. The illumination could be a little brighter, and the flimsy flip caps. And so I gave it a rating of 8 for great, because it is a very nice scope, even though for what I would, being on a 5.56, I would want some sort of other ranging reticle, I guess. The other thing I didn't mention about the reticle is it has a few little dots for windage adjustments also, and they also depend on the weight of the bullet, etc., etc., but they are also spaced at some MOA distance. So there you have it. Any questions?
You said, go ahead.
I was going to say, they did supply this for review, so it is a firing line review also.
Nice.
Yeah, I had a question. You've reviewed a lot of stuff. When it comes to value price, because that's what Lucid, some of the Lucid stuff is, how does it compare to like Vortex that would be about the same? What in Vortex line means that?
The Vortex ones that are about the same price.
Strike Eagle, right?
Is that their less expensive? Come on, where's our Vortex fanboy?
I'm here. The PST 1-4, you can get that used or even sometimes on the shelf. Definitely a good price, but the Strike Eagle is kind of designated as the 1-6.
Right.
The PST Viper is 1-4. I don't know if that makes a difference to you. Apples to apples.
That's right.
I don't know. You're gonna have to send this to me and let me try it out, and I'll be able to answer that question for you, Tony.
Okay, you listen. You just wait with bated breath for it to show up.
From the ones that I have, the Vortex 1-6 that I, happened to pick up at the local store and look through because, I knew somebody was going to ask a question like this. I actually thought this Lucid was a little clearer. Don't let Ryan hear me say that, but...
Well, I mean, your eyes, that's pretty objective what's clear and what's not.
Well,
You have your cataract surgery yet?
Yours too, because, wait, everybody on the panel tonight has glasses, so I guess maybe we're not good judges of this.
These are just to make me look smart.
It's
Fail.
not working.
Good one.
I got a question for you, Chad.
Yeah.
How do you like that quick throw lever? Because I've seen those all over the place, and it seems to be like the cool new thing. Is it useful? Is it reasonable? Is it mall ninja, or is it just something else to snag on a strap?
The only actual purpose I can see for the throw lever is if you are shooting in a competition where you need it. So 3-gun competition is pretty much it. Because otherwise, I left it on here because I was reviewing it. If it were mine, I would actually take it off. I would unscrew it and not have it on there unless I was actually going to a 3-gun match.
That's fair.
So very, very limited use for that throw lever then.
Right, because even in, as Tony would say, my old age, I still like 1-power dots, etc. optics. So unless I was going to try to make a precision shot, I wouldn't use it quickly anyway. So for my purpose, it doesn't really matter. It does have a little hump anyway, so there is always that. So you can still it's not just round, so there's something to push against if you want. But yeah, I mean, it's like I've said before, I think something that just went from like 1 to full power, because really, in the grand scheme of things, how often do you ever use the intermediate ones on a 1 to 6 power? You use 6 or you use 1. I mean, really, it's just the way they're made. You kind of have to do something. So.
Yeah. So you said it's got lockable turrets, so they don't have any kind of return to zero function. You just lock them down so they can't get bumped off zero.
You can lock them down. You push them down, and they lock. You lift them up to adjust them. But then if you can, like, this is a 23 or wherever it's at, I can loosen the top screw, pull the turret up, turn it to 0, and it won't adjust it, so that then you can reset the turrets to 0.
Right.
Also. So there's both, yeah.
That was my question.
Okay. And I took it off the gun so I could actually show it better without crashing into the monitor.
Look at you figuring stuff out. I'm so proud of you.
Took like 40-some years, but hey.
So you're gonna get that same blue rattle can and spray the scope too, so it matches your receivers?
Actually, I think I have to send it back.
Oh,
unfortunately, I don't know if I'm gonna keep this one. It's always I'm sure I would put it to good use if I did, but yeah, it's one I'm pretty sure they want it back. So.
Oh, cool. Well, thanks for that review. I should have one. I'm not going to make any promises. I got a camping trip this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get one done by next week. I got a lot of things in the fire as far as reviews go. I've got a pretty awesome right behind me. I got a Camelback mule in multicam behind me. I'm going to be wearing that and drinking from it and kind of doing my evaluation. Fill it with whiskey and see how the bladder holds up, that kind of thing.
Fill it with whiskey. I like that. Yeah, I actually have some that I've been working on putting the products out through their paces. Remember that O2 rail from Odin we talked about?
Yep.
They sent me one of those, and Actually, it's a pretty nice rail. They also sent me one of their compensators. So I have those I've been putting rounds through to try out. I got a holster from Osborne Holsters that I'm wearing right now. So,
Cool.
I got a few things that I need to go through.
Yeah, I got some holsters on the way, and then I've actually got a concealed stab-proof and bullet-proof vest, or bullet-resistant vest, I should say. Nothing's really ever bulletproof. It's just bullet-resistant. So that's going to be something I get to try out, I guess. So I get to give my fiance the chance to stab me, see if it works.
Yeah, don't let them start doing that stuff, or they'll think they can continue it on in the marriage. Just
You're wearing
let
it,
me-
right? Oh no, I
Yeah,
took it
because
off.
once they start, it's like a potato chip.
Yeah.
I got one here, I got one back here,
So
another
be like-
one over here.
Let me see that M44 rifle with the bayonet on it you didn't tell me about. let me see that.
Yeah, it's
I've
super
seen her.
long.
I've seen her cut him at a Super Bowl party.
Yeah, don't let them start cutting you, Ryan, because then you're just a carving board.
Good to
Yeah.
know.
That's my romantic relationship advice for you.
Yeah, someone got to test out the new Cold Steel Tie Light knife. It works really great. It cuts quickly.
Yep, sure does. Opens when you pull it out of your pocket and
Bam!
cuts your husband's hand, which is immediately brought between his femoral artery and your rapidly moving knife. Yeah, it's awesome.
It was great. Yeah, so go ahead. Yeah, get the vest. Have her stab you. Go ahead. Years of love right there, baby.
Double
Great
dog dare you.
stories.
This can only end well.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go get some watermelon now that you guys. About that, no?
Well, that's a good segue. Take a half step back, Ryan, and let's talk about that mule real quick. Does it have the quick disconnect bite valve?
Yes.
Those are awesome. Have you used those quite a bit at all?
No, I've got all my old camo bags are old from my dad, so this is the first time getting to use the new bite valve on there. I really like it so far.
How far out into the bush are you going?
No cell service. Does that count?
That counts.
No.
My question is, if you're using a water filter, if you're not packing, several gallons of water and just kind of hanging out at a campsite, if you're using a water filter, you can get the adapter that makes life a lot easier, and you can plug your water filter directly into that bite valve. You basically pull the valve off at the disconnect, you plug your filter into that, and you pump your filtered water directly into your Camelback without having to take your pack and everything off. Picked up on that years ago on a trip on the Appalachian Trail. Saves a lot of time and aggravation, and the other thing is, if you've humped a pack with any considerable weight to it, as soon as you take it off, you're done for about an hour because you're not putting that big heavy pig back on if you can help it.
Yeah, that is very cool that you don't have to take it off to fill it up. I was just going to use a live straw and then spit into the reservoir bag.
Wow.
But that makes a lot more sense. I'm going to do it that
Well,
way.
you know what, Ryan? If you're not going to take this seriously, why don't you go ahead and start drinking your own urine now?
Ryan, should we just tell him that you live in Washington and it rains there all the time? So all you got to do is look at the sky and open your mouth.
Drown like a turkey.
Not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Wow, somebody spent a lot of time in the Boy Scouts, huh? Just close your eyes, hit your head back, open your mouth.
Oh, God. I don't know whether I'm going to edit that out or not. So they ain't got no listener feedback to share on the show this week. So
You'll have it next week
now,
with that statement.
I will. So now is when I let Tony put on his professional hat and talk about the Second is for Everyone diversity shoot.
Man, you just ruin a good time. Second is for everyone diversity. Second is for everyone diversity shoot. August 11th. It's going to be awesome. Got some really cool giveaways. Got some really cool prizes. Have my buddy Les Schaefer from Schaefer Precision Gunworks. He has volunteered and donated a buttload of targets, so everyone's going to get free targets from him. Streamlight offered some stuff, so we're going to have some giveaways from them. My whole thing is come out, bring an anti-gunner, bring a new shooter, bring that friend who has been talking about shooting, but you don't know whether they're serious or not. For a $10 fee to go on the range, this is an awesome night, couple hours. Going to introduce you to some Second Amendment groups. tell you how important it is for you to actually vote this coming election and also be part of the political process. Also, Patriot Patch Co. They have some really cool patches, and I'm going to be giving away from them too. Almost forgot. Thanks, Chad. My thing is this with you guys, no matter where you are, as you saw what happened in California last week, also what happened in Massachusetts, these people can turn on you and get legislation passed or even just do something administratively like the AG did in Massachusetts. Join your Second Amendment group in your area, and if you think your place is great, fine. Find a place like Jersey, find a group here, donate money to that group. You have to have power for these people to fear you, or they will just roll right over top of you. There's no fear in Massachusetts of anything happening to the AG. She just all of a sudden decided that certain weapons are all weapons are assault rifles pretty much, and you can't have anything semi-auto, including pistols at this point. Be aware. Be politically active. Owning a firearm does not make you politically active. Being in a political group makes you politically active. Voting, calling, having your legislators know who you are and go, oh no, not this guy or girl again. Yes, they work for you. Make them fear you. All right, that's my little political rant on something that doesn't really get political. Be a part of the process, not just a problem. Thank you, guys.
Sounds like a lot of fun. I'm going to have to check that out. I'm going to have to go to one of those.
Yeah, you should come to one of those. Maybe a little earlier next time so you can help a brother set up. I'm just saying.
Nah.
He shows up the last 5 minutes, man. I've got the whole room set up, bags passed out, everything set up. Sean walks in the door. Everything's good? Good to go.
Did he throw a smoke grenade in there?
Not yet.
That's his usual MO when you're tearing down, and he. Oh, thanks, buddy.
Not my usual MO. That was special. That was just for you.
Oh, well, that should be your new MO then, because that's awesome.
Oh,
I promise it'll be my new MO every time I see a Patriot Patch booth being torn down.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That's awesome.
So you wanna plug Black Bag Resources?
Blackbagresources.com, blackbagresources.com, blackbagresources.com. You hear it 3 times, it sticks in your head, right? That's all it takes.
What's that?
He's old. He didn't hear anything.
Yeah, it's the hearing aid battery
right?
quit. Yeah, it's more than just bags. We do all the tactical gear, body armor, knives, tools, camping accessories, hiking goods, long-term storage food. You want to hook up on a deuce and a half, I'll track one of those down for you. I'm not above doing scrounge work. Firearms training. If I don't do it directly, chances are I know someone who does. I've got a lot of friends in the industry. We're kind of all over the place. I can help you find somebody in your area. Sponsor the Second is for Everyone diversity shoot. Sponsor the Home Defender Handgun Tactics course over the weekend. So I've got my hands in a lot of things. We've got a Black Powder Matters course coming up in a couple of weeks, hosted by the NRA's first double distinguished expert in muzzle loading, Mr. David Rosenthal. That's kind of an exciting thing. Tony's going to be there for that as well. We've got SafeCon coming up this weekend, followed by an introductory shoot over at Cherry Ridge Range. There's a ton of cool things happening. Check out the calendar. You have any questions, you can always give me a call, shoot me an email, shoot me a text. The phone number that I list on the website goes right to my cell phone. So if you don't get an answer right away, shoot me a text message. It's probably the better way to get hold of me.
Yeah, another thing about this weekend, that range day, Sunday, it's going to be an introduction to a lot of stuff. So Cherry Ridge Range is an awesome range. We're going to have rifle, pistol, and shotgun clay shooting. I'm going to be running the clay range. Sean's going to be running the precision rifle range.
They just changed that. I just got an email today. I'm over on the 22 range. So okay. I'll be doing the little teeny tiny pew-pews.
Nice range, though. It has a lot of metal targets, a lot of pop-ups. It's going to be cool. So come out, enjoy yourself. It's going to be a Second Amendment weekend in Jersey. Make it happen. Oh, yeah, and go to my Instagram, Simon Says Train on Instagram. Check out Simon Says Train on Facebook. And the Second is for Everyone on Facebook. www.secondisforeveryone.com will be live this weekend.
Yay!
Nice.
Yes.
It's about stinking time.
Hey, brother, been busy. That's all I'm saying.
Sweet. So, wrapping up the show, send questions or comments to gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv/iTunes. Be sure to visit the Firearms Insider for reviews and industry coverage at firearmsinsider.tv. And head on over to our YouTube page, Firearms Radio Network, and check out some of the videos that we've uploaded lately. So that's it. Awesome show. Thanks, Sean, for jumping on and joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm still trying to steal that AK mat through the screen. It's not working.
Yeah, it's not how any of this works.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to ship one of those to me. And by 2, I mean 10. And I mean quickly.
If you want a mat made for your guys' shop, just send us an email. We'll make one especially for you. Put your logo on it. We'll have it. Whatever gun you want.
Hey, logo.
All right, we'll talk after the show.
Yeah, that'd be great.
High
Hey,
point.
put a logo on one. Shut up. Put the Second is for Everyone logo on it and let a brother see it. That'd be cool.
And a high point.
Yeah, I'll make you a high point cleaning mat. How about that?
Yeah, okay. All right, I'll just put
It's a
it this
torn
way.
piece of saran wrap.
It's gonna be
Let me-
a brick duct taped to a little piece of wood.
No, here's the thing. You can either afford a high point or you can afford a cleaning mat. You can't afford both. That's simple.
You remember when you were in school and you had to wrap your books with brown paper bags?
Yeah.
High point
Recycle
cleaning
one of
mat.
those. There's your high point cleaning mat.
Whatever. Haterade.
Maybe you didn't pay all that money to have the dollars wrapped around it and hydrographics. You could afford a cleaning mat.
Nice.
Excuse me. The president of High Point gave me those, baby. I know people. That's important.
All right. Signing out. Later,
See you
guys.
guys next week.
Be safe.